Jai Gurudev, Jai Masters. Real, deep, permanent spiritual growth is very different than what people think it is. The techniques, meditation, mantra, yoga asanas, are very useful as techniques. They are not an end in and of themselves. It doesn't matter how many hours you meditate. It doesn't matter how well you do your mantras. What matters is, what is the purpose of the technique? Like when you play scales to learn the piano, you're practicing. Practicing for what? Practicing to be able to play the piano. When you do spiritual practices, we call them that, practicing for what? That's when you start to understand real spirituality. Why do I need to practice? Why do I need to do anything? You start off with a starting position. If I look inside myself, if you look inside, you will see there's a fair amount of commotion. There's more commotion sometimes than others, but I think you'll notice there's always commotion. The vast majority of the time, you're not okay in there. How do you know you're not okay in there? Because you're doing things to try to be okay. You're trying to have relationships. You're trying to get finances. You're trying to look more acceptable to other people. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. You're trying to figure out what's going to happen when you get older. You're trying to blah, 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 blah. You're always doing something. There's nothing wrong with doing things. We'll talk about that. Don't take it wrong. I'm just using it to illustrate to you. You're not busy doing things to try to be okay if you are okay. You're busy doing things to try to be okay because you're not okay. They're basically saying, I am not okay. I need to manipulate the world around me to be a certain way so that I can be okay. I need to manipulate it so it doesn't be a certain way because it makes me worse. There are things that happen outside that make me feel better. Now you think that's a big deal. I'm terrible because I say, what was wrong to start with? Oh, when he came up and he was so sweet to me and he said these beautiful things, it just melted me. It was so beautiful. Where were you before that? Not okay. The starting position of almost every human being is, I'm not okay. I wake up in the morning, I think about what I did wrong the day before and what troubles are going to be, and I think about what has to happen tomorrow and can I get it to happen and what might go wrong and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not okay. Or I'm not okay, so I get to go on a vacation next week. That will make me be okay. The normal behavior of a human being is a red flag. A red flag saying what? I'm not okay. That's why I need a vacation. That's why this, that's why that. That's why I'm trying to get a new relationship. That's why I'm trying to do this. That's why I want to have a child because I just don't feel meaning in my life. Don't have a child because you're not okay. Don't get into a relationship because you're lonely. If that's the foundation of your relationship, I was lonely and I was scared and I was insecure, God forbid the relationship work. And you're no longer lonely, insecure, etc. Then what? The whole basis of your relationship was so shallow that it doesn't have any roots. So all of this, I don't want to belabor it because it's not fun to listen to, but the truth of the matter is every single thing is saying, I'm not okay. If you're feeling okay and you're wonderful, you're not doing these things. How are you doing? Great. What do you want to do? I don't care. Do you like your job? I love my job. You want a vacation? No, I love my job. I want to go to work. I want to work on the project. People that are really into their projects, research scientists and different people like that, right? Mathematicians that's trying to solve this equation, for 3 years. They don't want to go on vacation. There's no vacations. If they go on vacation, they take the equation with them. So basically, you wake up. This is tough, but just once, dare to question everything. That's what spirituality is questioning everything. It is not a methodology of getting the same thing you always wanted. It is a question of saying, what is going on? And what is going on is, I'm not okay in here. It's not so comfortable in here. Every single emotion you describe is a description of a discomfort. Anger, fear, jealousy, insecurity, loneliness. No, there are good ones. Love, I feel tremendous love. I feel inspired. How often? I challenge you to sit there and say, how many breaths have you taken throughout your life? What percentage of them was taken in a state that was so beautiful that you wouldn't change a thing? You wish you could just stay that way. 0.00001%. How many breaths have you taken when you were scared, anxious, insecure, self-conscious, embarrassed? Ooh, it's a much bigger number, isn't it? What is it telling you? I'm not okay in here. Now the question becomes, and this is the foundation of spirituality, real spirituality. Okay, we've established you're not okay in there. You want to be, or everybody wants to be, but I'm not okay in here. You have two choices. You're going to do something about it. You want to be okay. One is I'm not okay. What do I do about it? How do I change all you guys so that I'm okay? How do I change everyone I interact with, my boss, my spouse? How do I change every situation that's unfolding in front of me so that when it comes in, it makes me feel better? Can you relate to that? All right? Then you're out there fighting with life. You're out there fighting with everybody. You're out there manipulating. It's not a nice word, but it's the word. You're out there manipulating the moments unfolding in front of you so that when they come in, they feel better. And you sure as heck are doing it to make sure they don't feel worse. So that's one thing you can do about not being okay. Thank God there's another thing you can do about not being okay, but nobody will talk to you about it. Fix it. Don't compensate for it. Don't put a Band-Aid on it. Don't try to take something from outside that if it comes in, it puts on top of your loneliness. So, I don't feel so lonely right now. Ever since he or she showed up, I used to have this tremendous loneliness. I don't feel it now. What if they leave? Oh my God, are you kidding me? I'll be so lonely. I'll be worse than I was before. Because at least before I didn't know what it was like to not feel lonely. Now I know, well, then you didn't fix your problem. If you take something and you put it on it and you say it's gone, but then you take the thing off and it's still there, you just compensated for it. You put something on top of it so you didn't have to experience or feel it. That's why you get possessive in your relationships. That's why there's ownership. That's why there's fear of loss. If you need something really, really bad, you're afraid of losing it. There's no way you're not. Because you want to be okay. This worked out pretty good. And all of a sudden you're clinging. You start grabbing a hold, and even the thought of losing it makes you freak out. That's what we spend our life doing. And if we're not careful, instead of literally fixing what's wrong, we are out there compensating or hiding from or trying to avoid experiencing the fact that it's difficult in here. So the first question becomes, can it be fixed? Yes. Can everyone's be fixed? Yes. What about if you lived a terrible, terrible life and you're 70 years old? Can it be fixed? Yes. It can be fixed. Not compensated for. Well, let's go so we make sure we're communicating. What would happen if it was fixed? People say that sometimes to me. Well, I wouldn't have any motivation. Why would I get out of bed in the morning if I was completely happy and contented and filled with love? Why would I have a relationship? Why would I have anything to do with anybody? Why would I do anything if I felt whole and complete within myself? Because love likes to express itself. Artists express themselves, not because they want to sell the painting. You take a true artist, put her in the woods, and leave her alone with her oils and paints. She'll paint and paint. She don't even care if she takes it home. And if she does, it's okay if she just looks at it to get inspired. True art has nothing to do with somebody else. It has to do with expressing the passion, the beauty, the inspiration, and love that is flowing inside of you. And it's a very powerful force, more powerful than fear and much healthier. You go to work because I'm motivated because I'm afraid that I'll get fired if I don't. What a terrible reason to go to work. Well, why would I go to work? Because you enjoy what you're doing, because you feel inspired to go stand on an assembly line and participate in the whole dance that all these people are doing and do your part and be part of a whole. And no matter how many times you do it, it's not boring. It's inspiring. You can do it better. You can shave 1/10 of a second. Imagine if you were like that about everything. That wouldn't be too bad, would it? That's what a whole being feels like. It is filled with joy and effervescence and inspiration and love and passion. Not, well, I'm already happy, why would I do anything? The happy means you're filled with inspiration. You're filled with joy. Okay, you fell in love, you met somebody, you're filled with love. You don't want to see them, do you? Wild horses couldn't keep you apart, right? You don't need fear. You don't need insecurity. You don't need anger. People say anger, what a great motivator. It's a terrible motivator. If you are acting out of anger, you will burn up. And you will take that anger and put it out into this world and pollute the world. Your energies come out there and you make people around you angry and all kinds of things go on. All right? So this whole concept that you have to be motivated by negativity or getting away from negativity is because people don't understand. It can be fixed in there. It can be fixed to where there's beauty inside, inspiration, joy, love. First of all, let's get straight what's supposed to be. Every moment, every second of your life is supposed to be the highest experience you ever had, and then the next one's higher than that, next one's higher than that, and it'll go on forever. Who wants that? Master Yogananda used to call it ever new joy. You want to know why? Because they said you'll feel joy. They said, well, you get tired of joy. It's like you get tired of the same meal. No, okay, it's ever new joy. It's a joy that, I'm serious now, this inner energy is a joy that you feel that is so uplifting, it blows you away. It's so beautiful, you wouldn't trade it for anything. And every time you feel it, it's like the first time you ever felt it. Every kiss is the first kiss. It's ever new joy. It's completely fresh. They call it spirit. They call it Shakti. They call it the flow of chi. Call it whatever you want. It is completely deeper and more meaningful than this noise that is going on inside your psyche that is not okay. So there is the possibility of fixing what's wrong so that you don't have to spend the rest of your life fighting with everything and everybody to try and get it the way you need it to be so you'll be okay. Because you're not going to be okay anyways. No one has ever been okay that way. And you know that. Whatever age you are, replace whatever age I say with the age you are, right? From the time you were little and you wanted a toy, you carried on to try and get your toy. When you were in junior high school, whatever it was, you started dating and doing stuff. You tried to get people to be the way you wanted to be. You have every moment of your life done everything you can to get it the way you want. All of it's the same. It's all saying, I'm not okay. To me, it's all a call for help. All right? Everything everybody's doing. Why do they need so much money? Why do billionaires need another billion? Because they're not okay. Why do people that are in relationships have other relationships? Because they're not okay. Why? Because they're not okay. That's why everybody's doing everything they do. And they've done it every moment of every day of their life, and they're still doing it. Well, what is that telling you? If I try something every moment of my life and I still have to try it, maybe I should wake up and realize it doesn't work. It doesn't work to try to compensate for your not okayness. So the wake-up call is, I have no choice. If I want to be okay, I have to find out why I'm not okay. It's not true that you're lonely because you haven't found your soulmate. You want your soulmate because you're lonely. You can't sit there and say, the reason I feel loneliness is because I don't have something. It's not true. You feel loneliness, so you said, this will take care of it, and I don't have it, and then you blame that on loneliness. The fact that you don't have your soulmate is what you're blaming your loneliness on. There are plenty of people that found just the right person and then find themselves when no one's home lonely. There are people who live in New York and are lonely. Hey, there's a lot of people in New York. How can you be lonely? Because loneliness has nothing to do with that. It's something that's inside of you, isn't it? So you wake up one day and you sit there and say, if I have but one life to live, I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to waste this running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to compensate for what's wrong with me. I am going to fix what's wrong with me. And so the next question becomes, what's wrong with me? How did it get that way? Why am I not okay? That's a perfectly reasonable question. Notice, the question of, I'm not okay, what do I do about it, leads you outside. The question, I'm not okay, why am I not okay? Why is this going on in here, leads you inside. Those are two totally different paths. So the question becomes, why am I not okay? Once you get clear enough to where you're not making all this noise splashing around trying to get stuff the way you want, and you take a look inside, you're going to see. The clues are there. It's not hard to see. Take something you're not okay about. You know, you're at a bad relationship with somebody when you're young, and their name was a certain name, and now 10 years later you hear their name called out at a Walmart. George! And your heart starts going, did I exaggerate? Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing I didn't exaggerate? You were driving down the street one day on the same road that you go to thousands of times to go to work, and somebody runs a stoplight, and you ram on your brakes and you spin around and you didn't hit them, you do this thing. Wait till the next time you drive down that street. You tell me nothing happens. These are clues. It's just they're so predominant that you don't see them. The fish doesn't know it's in water. It's the same thing. It's so predominant that you have these marks that you carry inside that you don't notice that you have these marks you carry inside. And when I say them, like such as the one with driving, so you drive by that place, you get all uptight. If you were talking to somebody, you stop talking. Maybe your mood changes, you get all weird again for the whole day because you drove past the place. You drove past that place 1,000 times before that didn't happen. So once something happens, and all of a sudden there's this scar inside of you. There's a mark. It left a mark inside of you. All right? I'm going to tell you the most shocking thing you'll ever hear. It's not supposed to. That's what be here now means. There is a moment unfolding in front of you. There are lots of moments, aren't there? Everywhere. but they're not unfolding in front of you. There's just one moment that's unfolding in front of you. There's one to the left, one to the right. There's one everywhere, but this one's in front of you. While it's there, it is coming in through your senses, and you, the indwelling being, the consciousness, are experiencing it. The moment it is no longer there, it is not coming in anymore. It is not supposed to be in there. You're supposed to be able to be present with the next moment. When you're driving down that street again, there's no accident. There's nobody running a sign. There is no higher probability that someone will run a stop sign or a light on that corner again than there is any other corner you drive by from then on. Is there? You have come out of harmony with reality. Now, I'm going to belabor this. You don't want to be out of harmony with reality, do you? That's not too healthy. Where are you going to end up if you're out of harmony with reality? In trouble. Because reality is real. You got lost somewheres. If that thing that happens stays inside of you, then what happens is when the next moment is unfolding, you miss the next moment. And next week when you drive past that place, you miss those moments. Everything about you now is out of harmony with what's actually happening because it's caught in what happened inside of you that you got stuck inside of you. And if I ask you honestly, how many of those do you have? You should turn white. There are lots of them. People I like, the young people come and they get into this stuff and they start working on themselves, and then inevitably they go home to see their folks. You should see what they say when they come back. Like, I had so much trouble. It was almost as if everything the mommy and daddy did bothered me like it used to, right? And I went into my room and I felt like I regressed back to when I was in high school. I was having the same feelings. Anyone know anything about that? That's pretty weird. Why? Because you're not in high school. You're 35 years old. Okay? So what I'm telling you is, ready? How does it feel when that stuff happens? Does it make you happy and high and inspired? It makes you feel not okay. That's a clue, guys, as to why you're not okay. How about I do it this way? If you decide to store inside of you everything that ever bothered you, you're probably not going to be okay. If every time you eat something and it makes you sick, you ask for a doggy bag, and you take it home, and every day you taste a little bit of each one, you're probably going to be sick. So basically, these events took place, they left impressions in you, and you kept them. Those bad experiences don't just sit in there, do they? They come back up. In your dreams, they come back up. During the day, when things remind you of them, they come back up. You're driving down the street, you're perfectly happy. Then there's this billboard that has a name on it or a spot on it or a doggy that looked like the doggy you had when you were little. All of a sudden, your entire mood changes for the rest of the day. Somebody calls you up, girlfriend or boyfriend calls you up. The other day, I tried to start my car. The battery must have been dead or something like that. It wouldn't start, and I missed work. My boss yelled at me and so on. Wait till you go out to try to start your car. You're going to be scared. But it has nothing to do with your car. It doesn't matter. If it gets in your head and it stays there, it causes trouble. The reason I gave you so many examples is I am sitting here today to tell you that's why you're not okay. It is not what happened to you that made you not okay. It is that you kept it inside of you that made you not okay. Yes, your parents got divorced when you were 6. Yes, it was a difficult time. His new husband, new father, new this, whatever goes on, stepfathers, et cetera, right? It's a difficult thing. You're 46 years old. That was 40 years ago. The events are not happening anymore. Why are they still bothering you? Somebody mentions something, you get all weird. So what I'm doing, the reason I keep showing you this, is I'm telling you it is the collection of this garbage that has gotten stuck inside of you that is making it so you're not okay. So if this stuff is stored in there, it is going to come back up. You can have a thought that hits that stuff, can't you? What are dreams? I always bring this up because I loved, when I was in college, we read Freud on dreams. I remember doing it, freshman in college, right? Freud on dreams. And it's like, wow, what did he say? He said this. He said there are events that happened to you in your life that stayed inside of you. Some of them just happened today. Some of them are longer term. And when you go to sleep, they come back up. Right? I literally remember, as a freshman in college, it was about 50 years ago, whatever it was, right? And I remember the example he gave. The first example he gave is a child wants a bicycle. He doesn't get the bicycle. He goes to sleep, he gets the bicycle. So it's not just negative. You do positive too. He's riding around his bicycle, okay? Because you stored this thing. It didn't sit quietly in there. Therefore, your mind is trying to cleanse, is trying to release the energies. Your mind's not evil. It's not trying to ruin your life. Just like if you eat something bad, your digestive system tries to get rid of it. If you get bacteria, your immune system tries to get rid of it. They're not evil. They're your friends. All right? Your mind does not want this garbage in there. It wants to be whole and free and healthy so that new things can come in, and you the soul, you the experiencer in there, get to experience things fresh, new, exciting. But no, now they hit your stuff, right? So the mind is trying to purify, and that is a truth. And that's what happens in your dreams, and Freud will agree, and Jung will agree. That's what's going on in there. God, look what it creates. It creates cities in full 3D color. You have a pretty brilliant mind, don't you? Look what it can do. It does it during the day, too. I call them waking dreams. What? All the noise your mind makes because it's trying to cleanse and get rid of this junk you stored in there. So if you're not careful, and you haven't been, you will store all this stuff in here, and now the mind will be broken. It will always be thinking, oh my God, what if I said that? I shouldn't have said that. Now he won't like me. Should I call him back? No, I don't think I should call him back because then it puts emphasis. What if he doesn't even remember what I said? I don't want to bring it back up. I'm not stupid. Having fun yet? Okay? And you just realize this thing's broken. That's why I'm not okay. So basically, you wake up and you realize the reason I'm not okay is because I stored negative experiences inside of me. And now they're trying to get out. And they try to get out through my mind. They try to get out through my heart. They try to get out. And then what I do is, instead of fixing them and getting rid of them, is I put a layer on top of them, my personality, my way of being, what I like and what I don't like. And then I try to manipulate the world to be the way I like and not be the way I don't like, all because this is making me do it. So your garbage is running your life. And then you wonder, why I don't have a nice life? Why can't my relationships work? They can't possibly work because your entire foundation of the relationship is wrong. You're trying to use the other person to avoid what's wrong inside of you instead of fixing what's wrong inside of you. Just so we don't think that we're talking against relationships. When you're done, and of course that's a big word, done, but it works along the way, right? Relationships will be the easiest thing in the whole world. They're easier than pie. They're easier than anything. Why? If I don't have garbage inside of me and I'm feeling love, how hard is it to get along with me? And if I'm feeling love and that's what I feel for you, and if your stuff that's left doesn't hit my stuff, I think it's adorable. Oh, look, she was in a van where she ran right through that door, didn't even say hello. It's like, wow, Rush, that's me. I get to be alone tonight, time to read. And it doesn't bother me one iota, not one iota. Why? Because I'm fine. And then the person comes back out and says, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you want to play? No, there's no apologize, don't do it again. What would you care if they do it again if it didn't bother you? And how would you like not to be picked on for every little thing? You had a mood and stuff like that. And you vow you'll never do it again and I'll forgive you. No, there's no forgiveness. There's no blame. There's nothing. You're fine. You're whole within yourself. Well, what's the person's relationship? To share the beauty that you feel. If you're feeling love and beauty, you don't have need. And so you're sharing it with somebody else. And if they want to be alone and cry in their room, go cry in your room. All right? If they come out and don't cry, you okay? No, it's not hard. It's hard when you're trying to make you be okay. That's really hard, isn't it? Because they never behave the way you want them to, do they? No. But that's literally how we think. You're there to make me okay. And if you're not doing it, it's just not worth it. So that's true of every moment of your life. You're doing it with money, you're doing it with this, you're doing it with everything. You do it with your body. Your body is an amazing thing. 10 trillion cells working together to make your liver, your kidneys, your blood, your everything, and they let you be alive, and they let you explore the world, and they make your senses. What do you use your body for? Oh, I got to get rid of these lines. I got to do a thing. In other words, I'm not okay. The body is supposed to make me be okay. The way my body looks, and if I have a little zit on my face or this or that or cane to pound, whatever it is, I mean, you shouldn't take care of your body. You should take care of it. Not so it makes you feel okay inside. That's like, well, I was going to say it would be like doing that with your car. We do it with our car. Your car is the vehicle that takes you places, fun to have fun with it, but it's not your portrayal of your ego that makes you feel better. You pull up with a car, and all of a sudden it's got a nicer one, and it ruins your whole night. The same thing with your clothes. It's like it's all, I hope you see how prolific this is. It's all because you're not okay. Otherwise, sure, get a nice car. Why? Because it's fun. It's not a portrayal of my personality. Same thing with your relationship. Same thing. Oh, I like to wear my hair a certain way. Why? Because I like to do it that way. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It's like dressing Barbie. It's not to please Ken. It's just, I'm okay. And part of being okay is having fun. having fun dealing with my body, having fun looking a certain way, having fun changing my look, whatever you want. That's fun. But it's not fun if you change your look and then he says, oh my God, you look ridiculous. Now you're hurt. Yes or no? Because you weren't changing your look to make you feel good. You're changing your look to try and attract somebody. And the next thing you know, you're selling yourself. You're just every second of your life, you got to watch what you say, what you wear, what you do, how'd your hair come out. Isn't that fun? No. And then you wonder why there's so much tension. There can't be anything but tension in that life because you are at war with everything, including your body. And wait till it starts getting older. You won't like it then. It should be fun. Look, it's getting lines. Wow, let's see what they're going. Look at them. They go all the way across. I'm telling you, have fun. Have fun. If you're filled with love, it's okay. And though it's funny, you won't get lines. Because those are worry lines and tension lines. All right, so I've seen 70-year-old masters, gurus, that their whole skin is like a baby, right? The silk is smoothest thing in the world because they don't have these poisons inside and they're not have all this tension, all this anxiety, and all the adrenaline. And so it's so funny. All right, so the net result is, how do you do this? Because so far what we've done so far is what? I'm not okay inside. That's okay. Neither is anybody else. All right? I'm not okay inside. What are you doing about it? Trying to manipulate and control everybody else so it feels better when it comes in. Good luck. Good luck. Well, sometimes it works. Yes, it works 0.001% of the time. That's about how long it lasts too. All right? So now the question is, why am I not okay inside? I showed you. I don't have to teach you. You're in there watching. Just watch. You're not okay inside because you stored not okay things inside of you. You built this psyche, this mental panorama inside of you, we call the personal mind, that is full of not okayness. Even good things, I hate to do this to you, but even good things that happen, you ruin. Why? You went to Hawaii, it was a wonderful experience, you want to go back again this year. Don't do it, because you're going to compare every single thing that happens with what happened last time. And you understand, last time it was spontaneous. Last time it was new. Last time everything was fresh. You had no expectation. Oh, look at the hotel room. Look at there's dolphins out there. Well, what if there are not dolphins next time? Oh, there used to be dolphins out there. You're disappointed. Do you understand that? If you don't appoint things, you can't get disappointed. But you do appoint things based on your past experience because you liked it. So well, come on. Your relationship, you do the same thing. There's that thing called the honeymoon phase, where everything that he or she does is new and you expect it. He opened the door for me, and then you kind of get to know each other, and it gets a little more day-to-day type stuff, right? And it just doesn't do the same thing anymore, does it? And so you just start to understand that the way of trying to manipulate and control to take care of what's wrong with you doesn't work. Then the question is, what's wrong with me? Why is it wrong? Because you stored all this stuff inside of you. So the answer becomes very straightforward. Get it out. Get it out. I'm telling you. It's called spiritual purification. Spiritual purification is, I got real stuff inside of me. And guess what? I put it there. I did not. Yes, you did. I didn't make my first, second, or third, my exes, be the way they were. No, but when they were gone, they stayed inside of you. They're not there. They can't stay inside of you. You keep it inside of you. How? It starts to come up. What do? Push it down. It's called suppression, repression. When it starts to come up and it's uncomfortable, you don't like that feeling, do you? So you push it down. You do something with it so you don't have to deal with it. Spirituality is, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to put any more inside of me, and I'm getting rid of the stuff that's in there. Well, how do I not put any more in there? You're driving down the street, somebody runs the lights, you skid around. Before your psyche starts going, oh my God, I could have got killed. Anybody could do this at any time. Oh my God, the road's not safe. Go on, have fun, and see what happens. The moment you catch your senses, or I say, wow, that was fun. Oh my God, what a rush that was. I steered the car. I managed to stop the car. I didn't know I could do that. Isn't it amazing what happens when you're in danger situation? This is so exciting. Start saying it, and it won't stay in there like that. And you neutralize, that's the word I use. You neutralize the experience, not deny the experience. You're fully accepting it. This is what happened. I went spinning around, right? It was like an exciting thing. And I was scared to death. Don't lie. I was scared. It was really exciting. It was exciting to be that scared. People pay to climb Mount Everest to get scared. Or very exciting, all right? I got it for free. I get this wonderful experience. Turn things into beauty. You do it. The event happened. Yes, it happened. Okay? It has its own vibration. It came in. You experienced it. Now it's over. They're not running the light anymore. It's over. Can it be over inside of you? It doesn't have to stay in there. You're holding it in there. Buddhists call it clinging. You're clinging to the experience because it was either comfortable or not comfortable. Work with yourself. Somebody told you, the low-hanging fruit. Somebody's driving in front of you, and they're going 15 miles an hour below the speed limit. What are you doing inside your head? Causing trouble. Not for the driver. They couldn't care less. They don't pay any attention. But inside your head, you're causing disturbance. And I'm telling you, that disturbance will stay inside of you. When you see a car next time that looks like that, you'll cut the person off next to you so you don't have to go behind that car. It wasn't even the same car, but the color was similar. Okay? Make it nice. I'm giving you homework. Make it nice. How? By making it nice. You're in there. You're the driver. You're conscious. If you let this garbage go on inside your head, and it will go on unless you do something, it's pretty negative in there. So the person's driving in front of you. It's starting to give its noise and like that. Don't tolerate that. You sit there and say, wow, it worked for me when I started doing it, okay? I like to drive fast. Rule is 5 miles an hour faster than the speed limit. The cops won't bother you. So everyone's supposed to drive 5 miles an hour faster than the speed limit, all right? Some people don't feel comfortable. They're like 15 miles below the speed limit. Well, who's right? Nobody. It's just different strokes for different folks. It's just that's how it is. So I'm going to sit there and say, well, I like to drive the way I like to. They get to drive the way they like to. Replace it with something beautiful. Neutralize it. To the extent that you neutralize it, it will not leave as deep of a scar as deep. It doesn't mean it's never going to come back or something like that, but it will not be the same. All right? If you do that, the way the mind works is called a LIFO stack. Last in, first out. It's the inventory method. All right? When you pushed down the car that was driving too slow, you pushed everything else down a little bit so that that car took precedent over the little argument you had with your husband in the morning. That was on your mind. Now the car's on your mind. So the car, if you keep pushing things down there, everything else goes further down and just swept under the rug. It didn't go away. It never goes away. Let's get something straight. And you go talk to a psychologist to play the same thing. If you don't deal with it and you shoved it down there, it's staying down there. For how long? Your entire life. No. Yes. It doesn't go away. If you sweep it under the rug, it's really not gone. It actually rots down there. It is the same thing with everything you shove down there. So here, you decided not to shove it down, this driving in front of you thing. You neutralized it because, and there's a warning sign, because you neutralized it, what was underneath it has room to come up. And all of a sudden, you can let that one go. You neutralize, okay, fine, so a little argument, a little disagreement with the husband. I'll straighten it up when we come home. I'll buy some flowers, whatever it is. You just let go. Just keep letting go. Don't give yourself trouble about it. Don't get mad at yourself because you had a little bad time. Let go, let go, let go. I'm begging you. Spirituality is about letting go, learning to let go. Learning to let go. You just let go. Then what happens is, because you let go what happened in front of you now, then you let go what happened, an hour ago and 2 hours ago, all of a sudden, stuff starts coming up from last year. Why? LIFO stack. You didn't put more stuff in there, and all of a sudden your dreams of people, really, spiritual people, they're doing well, they're meditating a lot, and they'll come to me and say, I don't understand, I was doing so well. Now all of a sudden my heart hurts all the time, and I feel all this anger. Yeah, good. Ready? Good. And I always ask them the same question. That anger and that all those disturbances you're feeling, you never felt that before in your entire life? Well, not since I was 12. I had this thing when I was... You hear me? If it ain't in there, it ain't coming back up. If it's coming back up because it's in there. And a wise person says, I don't want it in there. I would rather go through what it feels like. And it doesn't feel good. If it's stored with pain, it's coming back with pain. I would rather go through what it feels like to let it go. I learned to let go of the driver. I learned to let go of the fact that it's raining when I don't want it to. You just practice, like practicing the piano. You practice letting go. Start letting go. Let go. Then the other stuff will come up by itself. Let it go. But what about the ex? All of a sudden, it's these arguments I have with my ex are going back on in my head again. Good. That's not bad. That's good. That means it's time to come up. Now, the question is, if it comes up, will you let it go? Or you sit there and say, no, I don't want to deal with this. There's hands in there, aren't there? You can push things around in there. Sit on them. That's spiritual growth. Sit on them. Oh my God, it's not comfortable. That's right. It's not comfortable. But boy, is it beautiful when it's gone. And every one you let go, as you let it go, it'll be piece by piece. As you let it go, the energy you were using, you didn't even realize it, the chi, the shakti, the spirit, the energy you were using to push it down comes back to you. And all of a sudden, your center of being becomes strong. You become powerful. You're smarter than you used to be. You're more conscious than you used to be. You feel loved than you used to be. Of course you do. You're not wasting your energy on suppressing and fighting and controlling and manipulating and all the stuff we do. It's called liberation. You're freeing yourself. And eventually you will reach the point that you have let go of enough to where right now the energy goes down because you're pushing things down. It's all about negative. It's all about non-negative. It's all about, I feel better. What do you mean you feel better? That's not positive. It's non-negative. How about I feel ecstatic? Oh, that's positive. How are you doing? Whoa, it's mind-blowingly, and it keeps getting more beautiful. Not I'm doing better. So when you get to the point that you're done with enough stuff, enough energy starts coming up to where it literally changes direction. You don't realize now everything is out. You're looking out there, you're controlling out there, you're pushing stuff down here. It's all down and out. All your energy flow and all your consciousness is down and out. When you let go of enough, it starts turning up, and it goes in and up all by itself. You don't have to do a single thing. The energy will by itself come up, and then it will start pushing everything out of its way. It wants to come up. Then you catch on that the more you let go, the nicer it got. Ooh, I want to let go. And you practice, and eventually it gets so high in there. You're just doing whatever you're doing, all of a sudden you just go into ecstasy and bliss. It's just beauty. You have to do a single thing. You're a beautiful being. You are the most beautiful thing that ever walked the face of the earth. Doesn't matter what you ever did, you can't ruin it. It's what you are. The sun is absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't matter what it's shining on. What it's illuminating may not be so pretty, but it doesn't affect the sun, does it? Well, it's the same thing with you. Don't worry about karma. Don't worry about any of this stuff. That's stuff you built in your psyche. The self, you, the consciousness, the energy, the true energy flow has none of that stuff. It's beautiful. It's untouched. Just like the sun cannot be soiled by anything it shines on. Well, the self, the consciousness, cannot be soiled by anything unless you store it inside. If you store it inside, then it is soil because it's blocking your energy. People say, well, why don't I feel the light you talk about? Because it's blocked. So it's not a matter of compensating for it. It's a matter of being willing to let it go, to purify, to cleanse. And how do you do that? You just go about your every day just by itself. Stuff's going to hit your stuff. Every single moment of every day, stuff's going to hit your stuff. You used to try to protect yourself. Now you let it go. Start little. Don't start big. Don't go, how do I get rid of my first husband? No. Don't do it. Right? It's just like you play the scales first. You practice tennis. You just practice letting go. Practice letting go. So that is spirituality. That's where the rubber hits the road. That's the real work. Christ said you must die to be reborn. What does that mean? You have to die of the personal self. And naturally, what will be left in you is pure spirit, is pure upward flow. All true spirituality teaches the exact same thing, which is let go of yourself. Don't devote yourself to yourself. Let go of yourself. And something much greater will be present. And that much greater is a blessing to you and a blessing to everyone you know and a blessing to the whole planet. Work on these things. Jai Gurudev.